Mr Sims for his first question.
To make a brief explanation before addressing a question without notice to the Minister for Human Services on the topic of rental affordability for single people on income support.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted. The Honourable Mr Sims.
Thank you. Last week, Anglicare Australia released their 2021 rental affordability snapshot, which found that there was not a single rental property in South Australia that a single person on JobSeeker could afford. Not a single one. The report also found that there was no affordable properties for those on youth allowance, with just 4% of properties considered affordable for families with both parents on JobSeeker. At the height of the pandemic, JobSeeker recipients were also entitled to a supplementary payment worth $550 a fortnight. With that now gone and only a minor permanent increase to the JobSeeker payment, a meagre increase, it's clear that the rental affordability crisis gripping South Australia is even greater than before the pandemic. My question to the Minister is, what is the government doing to address this rental affordability crisis? And will the Minister guarantee that no South Australian renter will be evicted into homelessness by extending the moratorium on evictions beyond the end of June?
The Minister for Human Services.
Thank you, Mr President. Can I acknowledge the honourable member and his first question in this place and acknowledge his long advocacy for people in these situations. If I can address the last issue first, that is the issue of the ceasing of the arrangements through the residential tenancy laws. That is primarily rests with the Attorney-General through her responsibilities. However, it is something obviously that the government is committed to as we do pass through this COVID situation and our economy recovers. We are removing some of the restrictions which have been in place during this period. My understanding of the SACAP process is that for people who are experiencing financial difficulty, that is always something that they take into consideration in any case, and so people can make that representation. We also have a particular support service for them, which is a joint service, I think, with SYC and Uniting Communities called Rent Right, and they provide advice to people through that situation. The South Australian Government has long had a private rental assistance program which can support people with bonds and rent in advance, and so that program is available at all times. Quite recently, I did go to the Uniting Communities Law Centre, which runs the new advocacy service that we provided, which is actually a multidisciplinary service. So they have legal advice, a whole range of things. And one of the things that they mentioned to me at that stage is that some of the biggest advocacy that they do is with banks, with people who've actually got mortgages, which can be a particular problem that people have run into difficulty. So they've been working quite closely with banks to make sure that people don't fall into the system. And indeed, I note through ministerials that I receive that often someone will write to me and raise a particular case, and those are often resolved quite quickly. People who have got a good track record in the rental system are more than likely to be able to continue to maintain their private rental. And of course, for people who are on Centrelink benefits, there is the Commonwealth rental assistance, which can be quite helpful and quite generous, I think, for people with families. So that can be quite a reasonable addition to their income that assists them through the private rental market, as well as the programs which are available through state level.
The Honourable Mr Sims is a supplementary.
Thank you. Supplementary question. I note the Minister's response, but will the Minister give an undertaking that the government will extend the moratorium around ending evictions beyond the June deadline? The transitional arrangements expire at the end of June. Will the Minister give an undertaking that that's going to be continued?
Minister?
I can't do that because it's a government decision that will cease. So that's been the decision that's been made.